So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate today how to make a provisional crochet chain cast on. Why is it called provisional? Provisional is referring when we use the scrap yarn, and the sole purpose of this type of cast on is that once you are done knitting with your main color yarn or the project itself, the provisional cast on is going to get undone and the scrap yarn is going to come out, thus revealing the live stitches. And the live stitches are going to be later either joined via the Kitchener stitch, aka grafting, or sometimes you can also join it as 3-needle bind off, or sometimes referred to as joinery bind off. To start this cast on, we need a crochet hook, the knitting needle, and waste yarn, scrap yarn. For the sole purpose of the demonstration, I have nice, smooth, but also big one, just so you can see the stitches and what is happening in the cast on. We start always with the provisional cast on crochet chain style by making a slip knot. I make my slip knot by wrapping it around my big thumb on my left hand. And when I hold it, it almost looks like an ampersand. Then taking my crochet hook, inserting it into the loop under to the top, over the index finger, and back into the loop that you came from. If you're familiar with long tail cast on, it's somewhat reminiscent of it. But once that loop, the yarn is through, you take your thumb out and you tighten it. This is your slip knot. There are two ways of making this type of cast on, and even though it is quite popular just to make chain, and this is one step, and then with the second step you take a knitting needle and place the correct orientation of your chain onto the knitting needle. It is quite easy to mess up. That's why I do not like doing this method. You can find a lot of different videos online about it. So the ones that I'll be demonstrating to you today is actually a one step all the way through, but the two methods I'm referring to is what I'm going to demonstrate when you tension your yarn continental style, means when you tension your yarn with your left hand, and I will show a second method, which is when you cast it on, but demonstrating it English or throwing style, when you tension your yarn with your right hand. Whichever method you prefer, if you're a crocheter or not, I know you can try either of those and find a method that is comfortable for you. So we go back to the slip stitch under the crochet hook, continental style. My yarn is to my left. Take the knitting needle and utilizing the body of the needle, not the tip, we are going to place the knitting needle right next to the crochet hook. The yarn running behind it. I will tension my yarn, and with temporarily giving my tail and my knitting needle back to my left hand, with the crochet hook on top, I'll make a cross. Make a 90-degree cross, and with the yarn going behind, we go under and over and through the loop on the crochet hook. Once the loop is through, we take the working yarn, the provisional yarn, and we place it behind the knitting needle and adjust your tension. Then you give the knitting needle back to your left hand. With the crochet hook, make a cross on top of the knitting needle once again, go under and over, and with the beak facing down, pull the loop through onto the crochet hook. Bring your yarn to the back again, adjust the tension if necessary, make a cross, go under and over and through, yarn behind, make a cross, under and over and through. To inspect yourself, look at the braid. The braid that you are forming on the knitting needle should be twisted. Bring the yarn to the back. Now, for the purpose of the throwing style, we're going to start the same method, where you place your slip knot onto the crochet hook. Now for the throw in English style, you have to have your yarn to the right. because you will be tensioning now your yarn with your right hand. With this method, it's a little bit easier because we have to make the cross right away. We place the crochet hook on top of the knitting needle. When you look at it, it will form some sort of a 90-degree angle. Keep the tail out of the way. Now, a little chant for you. With the yarn at 45 degrees, you swing your yarn under the knitting needle, over the top of the crochet hook, under the crochet hook, on top of the knitting needle. And when you look at it from above, it will look as if you made an 8 or infinity sign. And once you have brought the yarn back on top of the knitting needle, tension your yarn however you tension it with your right hand, and then pull the yarn that you just wrapped around the crochet hook through the loop and reposition yourself right away. Once the yarn is through, reposition, draw a 45-degree angle once again, swing under and over, under and over. Looking from above, it looks correct. Tension your yarn, and as you tension it, pull it through the loop onto the crochet hook. You have to repeat the necessary number of stitches because here we're casting on provisionally, so this is the number that needs to be placed onto the knitting needle before you resume work. In order to continue knitting, what happens, and what I personally prefer to do in this case, is after you have cast on the necessary number of stitches onto your knitting needle, simply chain. That means you tension your yarn however you crochet, and you chain a couple of the blank stitches, and those blank stitches will become a little tattletale where you would need to start later to unravel your provisional cast on. You cut your yarn, or you simply feed it through the last loop, and you secure your cast on that way. And this is how you do the provisional crochet chain cast on for later revealing the live stitches. Happy knitting!